students, let us continue the previous numerical. In this particular lecture we are considering about there is an actuator. The extension force required is 150 kilonewton, retraction is 50 kilonewton. The there is a pressure relief there is a flow control valve. The drop at FCV is around 10 bar. Check valve bar is 3 bar. Okay, then what we have is that the pressure drop at DCV is around 2 bar. The pressure drop at the filter is around 3 bar. Okay, the pump is supplying and this the pressure delta P the setting of pressure relief valve is around 160 bar. Okay, so what is given is that meter in type of flow control with the extension velocity of 0.5 meter per minute. So how to find out? In previous lecture we studied that in order to find out the efficiencies we must calculate the various pressures during extension and retraction for the given circuit arrangement. So let us calculate them. So for the case 1 these are the parameters which we have got. Okay, then the flow rate required for 0.5 meter per minute will be equal to 12.27 multiplied by 0.5 meter per minute. So it will come approximately 6.136 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter cube per minute. So DCV pressure is 2 bar. Okay, so pressure required during the retraction operation will be equal to 2 multiplied by 2 where this 2 is because of the area ratio and 2 is nothing but the back pressure which is developed, plus 2 multiplied by 3. So this 3 bar is the 3 bar which is given, that is the pressure drop across the check valve, plus this is the pressure which is required for the particular application. Like we know that retraction force is around 15 kilonewton and for that the pressure requirement is 25.38. How to calculate this we studied in last lecture. Plus 2 bar is for DCV and 3 bar is for filter. So the pressure requirement during retraction, the total pressure requirement will be 40.38 bar. While during the extension this 1/2 2 into 1/2. So again the on the during the extension side again we are considering the cap end, that is why the pressure there is a half. Okay, this back pressure is half, plus 122.23 is nothing but the pressure which is required for extension. The extension force was around 150 kilonewton. So to overcome that, this one is the pressure requirement. Plus 10 bar is nothing but the drop of pressure across the flow control valve, plus 2 plus 3. This 2 bar is for DCV and this 3 bar is for filter. So the total pressure required will be 138.23 bar. So the relief valve setting will be 10% more than this particular value. So that comes around 152 bar. So this is to close the maximum working pressure around 160 bar. In practice, it would be advisable to select either a pump with higher working pressure, that is around 210 bar, using next standard size of the cylinder. In this particular case, let's calculate the system efficiency now. Now the system efficiency calculation, this 6.136, okay, multiplied by 138.23. So 6.136 is the Q, that is flow rate requirement, multiplied by the pressure, that is 138.23 during extension. While at the pump during extension, we know that pump has to overcome the pressure relief valve setting, so that is 152.05 bar multiplied by the discharge, that is 29.55 by the pump. So the system efficiency become 18.87%. While retraction, the pressure is around 29.55, the flow rate will be around 29.551 multiplied by the pressure during the retraction, that is 25.38 bar, divided by the input discharge, and this one will be this is the pressure. So again this will be nothing but output upon input, and the efficiency value will come around 62.85%. So just remember these values because we are going to consider now case number 3, that is meter out type. So in meter out type circuit, as we know that we are controlling the fluid which is coming out from the actuator. Again, this is the circuit diagram which is to be drawn. Okay, so pressure drop across the filter, pressure drop, this is the pressure drop across the filter, this is the pressure drop across the direction control valve. Across the flow control valve it is 10 bar, at the check valve it is 3 bar. Okay, and the pressure requirement during extension and retraction as calculated in previous cases. So let us consider the pressure requirement at the retraction during this case 2 by 2 by 2, 2 multiplied by 2, that is this is the for back pressure. Then during retraction this is the pressure which is required because of the retraction force 15 kilonewton, plus 3 bar is 3 bar is nothing but the check valve pressure, plus 2 bar is for DCV, plus 3 bar is for flow control valve. So totally it will become 37.38 bar. During extension we are halving the back pressure, that is 1 bar plus 10 into 1 half. Now this 10 into 1 half is the key factor in this particular numerical. So the 10 bar pressure which is there during in previous case of meter in, we are directly considering this 10 bar drop across the flow control valve, but in this case the flow control valve is located at the rod end side of the actuator. That is why at the cap end side of the actuator we need to consider it as a half, plus 122.23 bar, that is nothing but the uh, that is nothing but due to the force which is there, plus 2 bar plus 3 bar. So 2 bar is DCV, 3 bar is FCV. So totally it will become 133.23 bar. Pressure relief valve setting will be 10% more than that, it will be 146.55 bar. So let us calculate the system efficiency. So to calculate the system efficiency, first we need to find out this is the Q, that is discharge multiplied by the pressure during extension divided by the input power, that is discharge multiplied by the pressure during extension side. So 133.23 is the extension pressure multiplied by the discharge, okay, given by the pump. So this 129.55 value is not changing because the pump is not changing. Okay, so similarly during retraction we have this particular value. So during retraction this is the discharge multiplied by this is the pressure, okay, divided by the pressure at the pump, that is 37.38. So that will make the extensions efficiency around 19.05 and retraction efficiency around 67.87. So as we can see that a meter out is marginally more efficient than meter in, owing to the ratio of the piston area to the piston rod. So because of this area ratio of the which is there at the actuator, we find that the for a given particular arrangement meter out circuit is more efficient than the meter in circuit. Why? Because it is simply because of the pressure which is developed. So in case of meter in type of a circuit, we are actually regulating the flow which is going inside the actuator. So naturally there is a drop in the pressure. So the actuator is not subjected to high pressure during meter out type of arrangement. That is resulting in the higher efficiencies. Okay, so both systems are equally efficient when they are used through route cylinder. That means if there is no difference in the actuator area, which is rarely there, so naturally there will be difference in the efficiency. It must be remembered that meter out circuit should be that meter out should prevent any tendency of the load to run away. So this is the additional advantage of using meter out circuit, that it will restrict the tendency to run away for the load. So let us consider this speed control circuit using hydraulic motor. So in here what you see that the figure shows the speed control circuit of a hydraulic motor using a pressure compensated flow control valve, and the operation is as follows. In a spring centered position, the tandem four-way valve, the motor is hydraulically blocked. Okay, that is this is because of this tandem position, the motor is blocked. When the valve is actuated to the left envelope, the motor rotates in one direction. Its speeds can be varied by adjusting the throttle of the FCV. Thus, the speed can be infinitely varied, and the excess oil goes back to the tank through the PRV. And when the valve is deactivated, the motor stops suddenly and becomes locked. Okay, and when the right envelope is in under operation, the motor turns in the opposite direction. The PRV provides the overload protection, and because of which the motor will change its direction. So you can easily see that because of this particular flow control valve, we are controlling the flow which is going to this particular actuator, that is hydraulic motor, and thereby controlling the speed of rotation in one particular direction. So this is how, using this flow control valve, you can control the speed of a hydraulic motor. So let us consider another example. This is the fail-safe circuits. So the fail-safe circuits are those designed to prevent the injury to the operator or damage to the equipment. In general, they prevent the system from accidentally falling on the operator and also prevent the overloading of the system. In the following sections, we shall discuss two fail-safe circuit. One is protection from inadvertent cylinder extension, and other is fail-safe for the overload protection. So let us consider the first one, that is fail-safe circuit for inadvertent cylinder extension, that is uncontrolled cylinder extension. So the figure shows the fail-safe circuit that is designed to prevent the cylinder from accidentally falling into event when the hydraulic line ruptures or a person inadvertently operates the manual override on the pilot actuated DCV when the pump is not working. Okay, so if the pump is not working, this pump is not working, and someone tries to push this particular push button valve, accidentally they operate, okay, that will cause the fall of this particular actuator inadvertently. Okay, so to lower the cylinder, the pilot pressure from the blank end of the piston must be pilot open the check valve to allow oil to return through the DCV to the tank. So this happens when the push button is actuated to permit the pilot pressure actuated DCV, or when a DCV is directly manually actuated when the pump operates. So the pilot operated DCV allows the free flow in the opposite direction to retract the cylinder when DCV returns to its offset mode. That means whenever this particular whenever by accident this particular valve get actuated, because of this direction control valve which is located in this circuit, the falling of this particular load is prevented. That is why it is called as a fail-safe circuit. So for the overload protection, the fail-safe circuit is shown in this particular figure. So this figure shows the fail-safe circuit. The DCV V1 is controlled by a push button three-way valve V2. This is DCV V1. This is controlled by push button valve V4, by push button valve V3. Okay. When overload valve V3 is in spring offset mode, it drains the pilot line through valve V1. So when this is a spring offset mode. Okay, so when this is actuated, the circuit will drain through this valve V2. Okay, so if the cylinder exerts excessive resistance during the extension stroke, the sequence valve V1 pilot actuates the overload valve V3. Okay, so there is a pressure sensor. Okay, because of this V1 will be this particular position will be actuated,